Welcome to episode 57 of the Inside Job Boards and Recruitment Marketplaces podcast. I am one of your two co-hosts. I'm going flying solo today, a little bit scary. Peter had some technical issues. I think he's on vacation like many of us are at this time of the year, trying to connect remotely, and apparently the internet gods thought otherwise. But I am super pumped because one of my favorite people in the job board / recruitment marketplaces industry is here today. I've had the real pleasure of being with her, with Annie Sargsyan, a few times at conferences. We've known each other for a few years now, and it's always so fun to be with you in person. We'll see how it works out remotely. Maybe
Nope,
it'll be good. Maybe you'll never talk to me again, but we'll see how that goes.
that's
So,
not gonna happen.
so Annie, before we get into the real meat of the conversation, maybe for the listeners who don't know you personally, who don't know Jobrapido, maybe you can start off telling us like a little bit about your background, like where you came from, when you got into the industry, and then also Jobrapido.
Sure. Firstly, Stephen, all what you said is likewise. You are also one of my favorite people in the industry, and thanks for the thanks for the opportunity of having me here today. It's a run up towards the festive period. Well, it's the middle of the festive period, but it's always a pleasure to say hi and to chat. Let's see how this is going to work in the remote modus, so to say. But yeah, I'm Annie. I have been with Jobrapido 4.5 years almost since August 2019. For the listeners to know who don't know Jobrapido is a global recruitment advertising programmatic platform, which is present in 58 countries.
Hmm.
So we have a very, very big reach, and the most exciting thing is that programmatic bit. But there is more to that because that programmatic is then ruling an in-house built AI technology, which we can go to it a little bit later when we talk about the business. Um, as to me, I have an IT background in my educational background. I have two master degrees in IT. I have been always passionate about AI, and AI is what brought me to Jobrapido because
Oh,
it's my first ever recruitment advertising role in my career. Before I was in obviously IT, in the project management. I have been busy in the governmental sector, in the economy sector. I have had very, very various hats. I have been in the food industry. So I have touched a lot of sectors. But how I ended up in Jobrapido is, as mentioned, is the passion towards AI, as I met the folks of Jobrapido in one of the conferences, as you were referring to in London, where I was on a different mission to acquire a software for a company I was working for the recruitment needs. And I bumped into the folks at Jobrapido, seeing that they have an AI stack. It just kind of called me to back to my roots, and I started to chat, and it got all exciting to know about their technology, and it kind of brought me back into the technology, so to say, industry. So here I am. As I said, I have been from 2019 with Jobrapido, so I have seen a lot of the business reshaping, redefining, progressing, developing. So that's been a very exciting journey so far.
awesome. So August 2019. So a couple of things. I mean, first of all, for for you to see that they were doing a lot with AI then,
Yep.
that was, I mean, clearly there was AI. There's been AI for decades, depending upon how you define it.
Yep.
But not very many people were really talking about it too much. It was more of a, that's the future, but it's way out there. It's really only been just a little over a year where most of the people in our industry and others have really been living and breathing, right? Since ChatGPT went live in November
Yeah.
2022, so it's interesting that they were, obviously well along that path before that. Now, we're going to talk somewhat about kind of the state of the market or markets, and I think one thing that would be helpful for listeners to know is that you joined in August 2019. So that was just months before COVID. So, like us at College Recruiter, Jobrapido saw probably a steep decline in revenues, profitability, and all that early in COVID, then a substantial bounce back. And then last year, correct me if I'm wrong, you probably saw a decline again, like January-ish of 2023. And is your business coming back well now? Is that Are you seeing kind of the same things that we are in terms of the timing?
That's a very good question. Now, as you mentioned, I have been lucky to see the normal state of the business when I joined back in August 19. I saw the normal flow of the business and all the budgets and all the transactions and all the campaigning and everything. Then, very short months after, when December 2019 and January 20, the COVID news broke out, and just noticed that our headquarters are in Milan, in Italy, and Milan
Mm,
was the epicenter of the European COVID. So it was quite some time, shall we say, because I saw the budgets and the industry shrinking dramatically during that time. And it was the time where you really needed to step up, to redefine strategy, to regroup with the whole company to cater towards those issues, because that there was a massive decline, and it was continuous, and then I have seen the strategy of the company change throughout those times to make sure that we are in a survival mood as
yeah.
everyone else, because we
Yep.
were all in the same boat. And then obviously we have seen the good news when the COVID was over of sorts, and all the held back budgets and all the hiring needs all of a sudden came back, and it was a spike. So then everyone wanted those qualified candidates. Everyone were after those people, and it started a bid wars. It started, so the commercials were right up. You were able to dictate the rules. Okay, I need these commercials to give you these candidates. But the good thing in all this, right from the COVID times through to the flushy budget time of the year, so to say, we were able to mainstream our candidates, our community. We have 110 million plus community across the globe,
Okay.
and we are, and why I'm talking about the AI stack, we are able to streamline those candidates in an effective way by qualifying them, and now we're actually triple qualifying them. I'll come back to that in a bit, to be able to give it to the employers in a capacity they need, which is a huge thing. So not only that it's qualified candidates, then it's in the capacity that they need. Hence, we have been successful in this journey because we were able to streamline the need to the demand, so to say. So we were matching it, and so that was great timing. Okay, and then coming to January 23, where everyone were business planning based on the previous 6-7 months,
Yeah.
thinking that it's going to be a wonderful time, that actually January is going to bounce back even stronger. And then what hit? We know that there was two major impacts in the market, where the Amazon wasn't signing off for their budgets for that period of time, which was obviously a big hit to the market, and also indeed pulling some major budgets from their TMN proposition. So then everyone were sort of back to square one, back to the COVID times where the market was shrinking. And then yet
Mm,
again, you needed to redefine yourself, you needed to rethink strategy, to regroup, and to cater towards that side of things. Now, at the minute, we're still in a tight market conditions. It might be varying in different parts of the world, but there is some glimpse of hope, I would say, but I wouldn't call that we're out yet. So to answer your question, I don't think we're out yet from the tight market conditions, but I think we're on the way, and it depends of how you are managing your business, which is then going to create that foundation for you to be even stronger, even better in your quality, in your business operations, when eventually the tight market conditions dissipate and we go back to normal business.
Cool. So I think we have time for like two more questions. The first one I'll keep real short, and it'll set the stage for the second one.
Sure.
So Jobrapido, we college recruiter, partners with you guys. We have for quite a while. We will for quite a while. My understanding is you buy and sell traffic on a CPC basis, also a CPA basis, right? Cost per
Correct.
application,
Correct.
right? And do you see the CPA side growing differently than the CPC side? Are you getting like sort of more and more customers and publishers engaged in buying or selling in CPA? Because
So
we certainly are seeing a significant growth in the CPA side of our business, and I'm just wondering if you're
yeah,
seeing the same, if that's across the 58 markets.
yes, that's a very good question. Now, as mentioned, the way we are operating, CPC or a CPA, we're always catering towards your KPIs, towards your needs of what do you want to achieve. Okay, and that's the beauty of Jobrapido. That's the beauty of our programmatic proposition. Now, yes, the CPA is much in demand, and the reason for that is a safer bet for the companies to invest their budgets, which is
Yeah,
absolutely fine.
it reduces the risk for the advertiser, right?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
yes, we're operative on a CPA basis in all the markets, which is
Okay.
fantastic, which is great. So we have that proposition. But in addition to that, even if it's a CPC proposition, we have a feedback loop, which we have recently deployed, by saying recently already months ago, which is allowing us to define the sources of the conversions of any application and give the people, the employers, more of those kind of applications. By that, we're able to align to your KPI. So, for instance, let's say you have a CPA target of a $5 in the US market and you want to achieve that. CPA or a CPC, we're always catering towards that. So we're not wasting the budgets. We have a very sophisticated AI stack, but we also have a delivery team who are managing on the basis of those signals, of those inputs, which are coming from the integration that we're putting with the companies to get those conversion sources to be able to give them more of that. But to your question, yes, we're operative on a CPA basis in all the 58 markets. We are very successful in doing so. And this is also mostly helped by the triple qualification of our candidates.
and
Where
and that's the second question. So because
all right,
this is something I've heard just a tiny bit about,
yeah, yeah,
and for the listeners who don't know, so the triple qualification, the use of AI, my understanding is it's largely about quality. It's
absolutely,
right. It's if Jobrapido is going to send, whether it's a candidate to another job board, an employer, a recruitment agency, you want that. You don't want to just send them a click and charge them for the click. You want that click to convert into an application, and for that
absolutely.
application to be quality. Like it's a real person. They meet your minimal levels of qualification as far as the employer can share it, and
Yep.
hopefully they're going to get hired. At the end of the day, that's what we're all striving for. So, before we leave off, the triple qualification, what is that?
So obviously, the qualification, as you can imagine, we have a taxonomy based. We have a taxonomy based programmatic proposition where we're assigning a confidence score to every community member we have in our ecosystem. So then they are, we don't keep any CVs. What we do is we track their searches, we track their activities of which jobs are they engaging with, and we're assigning them a confidence score saying, okay, this candidate is going to be interested in this kind of jobs, because then our jobs, which we're indexing, have the same confidence score, which we're then matching together. The extra layer of the qualification that we have done, which is a groundbreaking actually approach, is that we have integrated with a sort of feedback loop with Google, because when we are one of the top spenders for the candidate acquisition, candidate traffic acquisition with Google. So now we're sending the signal to Google by saying, okay, this is the conversions that we need, this is the traffic that we need, give me more of those. And then we are catering it to the jobs that we have on our site. That is then allowing us to assign a higher confidence score to every candidate, to every job that we have. And hence we're successful in getting those conversions to our clients, be it in the CPC commercial model, or a CPA, or a CPR, or cost per lead, whatever the target is.
Hmm. That's brilliant. That is a very different approach than a lot of the bigger sites do,
Exactly.
which a lot of them are basically looking at the resume or CV
Exactly.
and kind of saying, well, Annie did this 10 years ago, she did this 7 years ago, she did this 5 years ago,
Exactly.
and therefore these are the jobs that I'm going to show you moving forward. But you may have a new degree, a 14th master's degree,
You're absolutely right,
or
Stephen,
just,
and that
hey,
is exactly the point. That
yeah,
is exactly
or
the point. Yeah.
I no longer want to be a nurse. I want to be a social worker. Whatever it might be. So it's more looking forward than looking back. I love it.
Great. Yeah, absolutely. And that is actually more trendy in the US side of things.
Hmm.
I'm very, very excited to bring it to the US market currently. And yeah, it's a big journey ahead, but we have a very good foundation. I'm really looking forward to spreading the word and getting it to as many people as possible.
Awesome. Well, Annie, thank you so much. Anybody wants to reach out to you, there's your LinkedIn URL. It has been a pleasure as always. Have a happy and healthy new year.
You as well, Stephen. Pleasure is mine. And thank you again for having me. Happy holidays.
You too. Cheers.
For now.